Bidi, Part 2, Vacation, August 5 to 10, 2022. August 7, 2022. Well, Bidi is with you again. And this time, I hope you're not going to sleep, but really ask questions, even the most stupid ones, in order to exchange, to talk, to dialogue. So, Bidi is listening to you. Sister, laughs, I'm going to quote Omar. I had noted, during the first stay where I was not present, but it was by the groups. So, little notes that I took. He said, life will interfere with your projections, wisdom or madness, life with a small l. Is it life in the good sense of life or another life? Bidi. I did not understand. I heard, but I don't understand anything. What is the demand? Sister, I wanted to understand the meaning of that sentence. Bidi. Either you accept life. Sister, yes. Bidi. And you are in joy and in silence. Either you refuse life, and over and above the fear and suffering you will go through, you will go mad, totally mad. Sister, by refusing life. Bidi. In other words, the neural circuits of your head will literally burn out. I also believe that in the filmography of the West, they have prepared you for this with all the movies about zombies. Radiation of various kinds will either wake you up to the real, or literally make you go into an episode of madness. Nothing will be coherent in you, your personality will literally explode, due to the loss of all its memories and all its landmarks. Omram had also said, love or suffering, and indeed, on the horizon of the event, the intensity of the radiations will be such that no personality will remain unscathed. It had been said long ago that only those who had soul sound would be protected in their awakening. The others will pass, as has been said, through a form of terror because all their landmarks, exterior and interior of their character, will collapse at the same time. It's part of revival. This is part of the script. This is the meaning of his words, love or madness, the real or the resistance to the real. No one will be able to escape by the process of the event, whatever it is, from the real that it is. No one will be able to resist beyond a certain threshold, for an extremely brief period, what he is. This is part and parcel of the clash of humanity. All this, in order to make you let go of any pretension to the perpetuation of dreams and illusions, will lead you to discover yourself and to live, just behind terror or madness, beatitude. No conscience will be able to escape this revelation. Only the way of living it is eminently personal. Do you have any other notes? Sister, yes, I have other notes, I'll look at it later, well I'll read it again, maybe. Laughs. Eliza, everyone has the impression that time is getting shorter. Is it correct, is it true? Bidi. The distortion of time that you actually experience is part of the loss of temporal landmarks, but also spatial ones. Moments of confusion, not yet madness, both within you and in communicating with the rest of the world, in your own families, are part of this event. There is therefore indeed a distortion of time, as if time is accelerating or shortening, and this is a profound harbinger of the proximity of the event. In short, you are all going to go through times of confusion, times when you don't even know what your name is, times when you won't remember what you were doing or what you were going to do. The distortion of time, but also of space, like the distortion of your own identity, is part of the process for everyone. You will have the impression of a discontinuity, even of a total break in your habits of life or functioning. This is already underway for many, causing you to reposition yourself in the here and now. You will actually understand that you have no choice but to be where you are. This signals somewhere the end of the desire body, the end of projections, the end of memory mechanisms or habits. Many of you already feel this rupture may experience discomfort, but here too you will find that the more you accept this change, whatever it is, the more you will feel at ease. On the other hand, if you persist in wanting to maintain what is going away, then effectively, you will be worse and worse. Life imposes itself and puts an end to the idea of being your life. It is part of the intelligence of light. It's part of your script. And that's part of your way out of the dream. It can be uncomfortable, very intriguing, but the moment you accept and welcome, there will be, or there is, immediate relief. You cannot object to what you have written, even if you do not know it. It is a period of adjustment where all the benchmarks, whatever they may be, of your life, of your history, are turned upside down. This involves some very big changes that can affect all areas of your character. This will allow you to recognize yourself. This will allow you to not resist what is, and to live, really and concretely, the surrender to the light and the surrender to the real. Many of you are already experiencing this, sensing it as sometimes uncomfortable changes that sign a total break with the character. Whether it is a change in your body, whether it is a change of location, whether it is an intense upheaval in any area, then you will know that life is knocking at your door. Remember in these moments that the more you oppose, the more the resistances will increase and the worse you will feel. On the other hand, the more you agree to go, somewhere in the direction of the movement, the more it will seem joyful and childish to you, whatever the event. Of course, not all areas of your life will be affected, but I would say that the areas where you have the most illusory certainties about yourselves will be affected preferentially. As I said, this can represent a moment of suffering, anguish, or questioning, which will be resolved during your acceptance by a great burst of laughter, whatever the event, whatever the circumstances. Many of you are already experiencing it, seeing or experiencing the changes that are there, that are coming, with apprehension. But if you accept, you will quickly find that this change is more than beneficial for you. Because this change has no other objective than to make you available to the real, available to life. It is also a way to experience the unknown and to get closer, somewhere, to the unknown and therefore, to the absolute. It is therefore useless to rail against the circumstances of your life at this moment, whatever they are, but much more to ask yourself the question of acquiescence, of acceptance, which you will only be able to achieve in the silence of yourselves, in the silence of your claims. No gesticulation, no posture, can be of any use to you to live what is to live for you. In other words, the more you are in acceptance, the easier things will be for you. And you will have the opportunity to check it. There will be no doubt for you. It's a kind of test that you wrote, to see if you are really in acceptance and surrender to what is, or if there remains, in your character, any will to direct or control. This will to direct or control anything is the opposite of grace and acceptance. You will experience it. Some of you are experiencing this right now. The solution, as always, is within you, only in this process of accepting, acquiescing to what is, and not in wanting to change what is. At that time you will have all the answers in acceptance. You will find that the why, the how, move away. There will be less and less questioning, less and less resistance, more and more lightness, more and more evidence. You can only realize it. You cannot escape this understanding. It is the apprenticeship of the intelligence of the light. It is the apprenticeship of the intelligence of the real, and the end of the myth, not of creation, but of your personality. It is finally the face-to-face of the eternal and the ephemeral, the crossing of one by the other and the other by one, which installs you and which prepares you for zero time, for the here and now, to the eternal present and to live the real. Eliza, I have a long question from a sister, who asked it to me and who adds a big story to it. My God, in Spanish, and I'm going to have to translate. So, it's the Wailing Wall, I don't know, whether to do it directly in French or... How do you suggest? Should I do it in Spanish first? Bidi. Yes. Eliza, I have to translate all this. Bidi. Even before translating, such a long question can only translate, even before knowing its content, a state of confusion, the state of a person who thinks he controls, directs the light in his life. Which, of course, is a total illusion. Now let's see the translation, if you don't mind. Eliza, I was going out to travel to see my family and I fell on stones. And in the end, I couldn't travel because I hurt my knee, my spine, my arms, and my whole right side. So I had to keep quiet. Is it because I had to keep quiet, and it stopped me? That's a question. Eliza, and then I can't walk anymore because I have pain all over my body. So obviously, only I can accept, I have nothing more to do. But the question is, why? Eliza, and now I'm telling you about my experience. After falling and hurting myself, I was in so much pain, I stayed in bed and couldn't even hold on, because I couldn't move. And even after all this, after having been in a lot of pain and crying, not for not traveling, but I remained silent. I had nothing to say, I couldn't think. There was only the ephemeral, I was tired and I hurt everywhere. I had already flown when I fell. So, I lay unconscious and incredibly, there was peace, there were no more thoughts. I was just there. There you go, having gratitude. Bidi. That's exactly what I was telling you before it was translated. This is exactly what I was explaining before giving you the floor, life is catching up with you. The real confronts you. There is no better solution for those who refuse to really and sincerely go within, than to be thwarted in their plan, in order, as this person says, to be in silence and to accept. There is no other why. The answer is in the very description of what was experienced. Your personal will is sometimes exactly the opposite of the intelligence of the real. And in these cases, in one way or another, you will be immobilized in order to experience the change that you have to experience. There is no other why. There is no other explanation. As long as, somewhere, you have the pride to believe yourself a person, then you will be confronted with this kind of event. It is not the fact of depriving you of going to see your family, from what I understood in this case, but above all of making you discover that you are nothing of this person. When the person is stopped by a disease, by the change, by an event, it is the intelligence of the light which manifests itself in order to awaken you from your pretensions to the illusion of being a person. And when you return to silence, as is the case here, because you cannot do otherwise, then you will understand it. There will be no more why. There will simply be acceptance, as I said, a great burst of laughter at this vast farce that is creation. Life is not your life. It is the set of lives, the set of dreams. It ends the fragmentation, the idea of being separated, the idea of having to do anything, rather than being who you are. Of course, this does not apply to every person. Some absolutely do not need this kind of understanding and lesson, but others need to experience events of this nature, or even more serious, to realize that this is only a dream. This is part of what was called, a long time ago, the shock of humanity through an individual event that prepares you as best as possible for the collective event. Nothing happens by chance. All the answers are not in the why or the how, but only in the acceptance. Many of you over the past few years have been frozen at different levels. Many of you today, as I said, are forced to experience changes. Fixations as movements are, ultimately, only elements put into your dream by yourselves to see the dream and to live the real. Silence. I repeat, acceptance is both the key to waking up, but also the key to solving the problem, what freezes you or what mobilizes you. Each case is different, but acceptance will always be the key. Because acceptance is finally grace and gives you to live the intelligence of light, and gives you to rediscover who you are, beyond the person, at the heart of the meeting of being and non-being, and it is like that all over the earth, whatever your age, whatever your situation. There is an event or a succession of events which come to jostle you, to shake you. It has been called a nightmare, and this nightmare wakes you up. Sound of coughing. The example of this sister is a typical example, and be sure that the less you understand what is happening to you, the more it has been written by you and represents the most perfect way to remember who you are, beyond all form like everyone else. That's what you wrote. Again, especially if you don't understand, especially if it seems unfair or not deserved at all. It's not about merit or punishment, it's just about waking up, an opportunity to find yourself, to recognize yourself and to laugh. Silence. Do you see the difference between the first part of my speech and the second? Sister, yes. Bidi. You can't sleep. Sister. That's it. Bidi. Of course it is wanted. Eliza. Why did we choose to experience all of this, while others died and are not going to experience it? Bidi. And others are what? Eliza. Dead. Bidi. But those who died await the same event. It's been repeated thousands of times. It makes no difference whether you are a baby, a child, an adult, an old man or dead. It is the same event for everyone, the same finality expressing itself in a multitude of ways. Eliza. Bah, maybe I didn't understand. If they're dead, they're dead. Bidi. But if they are dead, they are not dead since death does not exist. Sister. Yes, 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 no. Bidi. You are the ones who died here. Sister. They continue to live. Eliza. Are they going to live the event? Bidi. But they will live the event in the same way. It had been explained thousands of times by Omram, that the dead, since the year 2010, are placed in stasis to live the white paradise and experience the shock of awakening. It makes no difference whether you are incarnated or in stasis. Silence. The event is the same. Eliza. Since 2010? Bidi. But yes. Eliza. And before? Bidi. But before you passed through the doors of the astral, it had been explained at great length. Since the release of the core of the earth, all those who die or think of dying, can no longer be in contact with members of their family or the lords of karma, but are intercepted in the astral to be placed in stasis, in a state of semi-consciousness to experience the event. Eliza. So those before have reincarnated. Bidi. What? Eliza. Those before 2010 reincarnated. Bidi. Those before have reincarnated. All of the new births you have today are not disembodied reincarnating, that had been explained at such length, but they are galactic or intergalactic beings who have taken their tickets to watch the show in human form. This is why you have detected for a very long time on the surface of this earth, what you have named in different ways the indigo children, the crystal children, but also the organic portals. Eliza. So, my son who died in 2007, where is he? Bidi. He is necessarily reincarnated. Brother. What a crystal child. Bidi. I don't have time to go into these kind of explanations that have been given thousands of times. It would be a waste of time compared to the present moment. These indigo or crystal beings. Eliza. They are vaccinated now. Bidi. What? Eliza. They are vaccinated now. Bidi. Why? Eliza. I don't know, because everyone is vaccinated. Bidi. I do not wish to dwell on these stories of vaccines which do not concern me. Let's get back to basics please, otherwise I'll send you back to sleep. Laughs. brother. Are the children being born today all crystal, indigo or organic portal children, but all 100%? Bidi. How will the answer to this question relate to you, who is asking the question? The mental. It takes you away from yourself. Are you concerned by this, in your life, in what you are? No, it's the mind, see it clearly. It's like when you talk about what you believe rather than what you live. Sister. I don't want to go into the details of my existence, but indeed, in the next 6 months, well, if I don't move, I will be evicted from my accommodation. So it's true that we said. Eliza. Wait. Sister. Excuse me. Eliza. Well, tell me. Sister. I was saying I'm supposed to move out, if I don't I'll be evicted from my accommodation. Bidi. All right, and? Sister. And so, in fact, that's part of the obligations. We're told that we still have obligations today, whatever they may be. Bidi. But you all have obligations, but obligations are part of your life challenge right now. Sister. Yes. Bidi. They kick you in the butt. Sister. Here it is. That's it. Bidi. You are made to move, or you are made to stand still. Those who refuse to move will move, those who want to move will not move. That's exactly what I'm explaining. Sister. And at the same time I had understood, I had heard that it was not a question of moving on your own. Bidi. Do you move by yourself or by obligation? You said it yourself. Sister. No, it will be by obligation. Bidi. Well, yes, you have to if you're expelled. Laughs. Sister. I'm not yet, but no. Eliza. But that's what you have. Sister. What? Eliza. You said that, you're going to have to. Sister. Yes, it could become like that, expulsion, but not thus far. But it was also said that there was no question, it was necessary above all that one does not move in oneself. Bidi. It's a move. Sister. Yes. Bidi. Does that mean not moving within oneself, or is it moving externally, there? Sister. Externally. Bidi. So. Sister. And stay in yourself. Bidi. And then, where is the misunderstanding? Sister. It's knowing. Bidi. Because you believe that, the fact of not moving inside, prevents the movements outside? Sister. No. Bidi. Well then. We have been saying to each other for many months that your inner and outer balance will be hit, we have said it over and over again. For some it is an outward change, and for others an inward change. We never said that you had to take the lead to change, but here the change is well imposed it seems to me. Sister. Yes. Bidi. That's it. Do you understand, or else I don't understand what you mean? Sister. I would like to add something. Sister. In fact, in relation to what is coming in September, I think it was on this occasion that I thought I understood that we were saying not to move, that we could not move. Bidi. That was never said, never. Sister. Well, I made it up. Bidi. On the contrary, many of you are seeing changes. Sister. Yes. Bidi. Whatever they are, new balances must appear, internally or externally, in your living conditions, in the conditions of your bodies, In the conditions of your relationships, even with those closest to you, this is part of the readjustment driven by the light, by his intelligence. It is wanted, as soon as it is not you who decides. Sister. Okay, thank you. Eliza. A sister, you said before, the sound of the soul, when? Bidi. What? Eliza. You spoke before about the sound of the soul. Bidi. Yes. Eliza. In the left or right ear? Sister. Right. Bidi. And? Eliza. So she would like to understand what that is. What is this? Bidi. Don't bother with that. This is part of the teachings that were given a long time ago. When you are open, I did not say awake, but open, the nada or song of the soul manifests. There are 7 different sounds: opening to the soul, opening to the spirit, contact with the spirit. It has been explained perfectly in certain yogas. But today, please, don't bother with that, go straight to the point, don't bother with these things about chakras, doors, stars, new bodies, bodies of eternity. It is no longer time to deal with this, it is a waste of time today, a loss of center. Everything that was necessary 10 years ago is now dead weight. This had its use in its time, to establish the bridge between the ephemeral and the eternal, between the gross bodies and the body of light. But today all that belongs to history, the real is right there, right in the middle of the chest. All this knowledge is dead weight to you today and takes you away from yourselves and does not bring you closer to them. Any knowledge or experience you may have of vibrational processes today is an obstacle to the real, an obstacle to the truth. Truth is simple, it doesn't need the sound of the soul or the sound of the spirit, it doesn't need anyone. Everything else takes you away and only feeds the mind, but not the truth. Forget all that, and if you've never heard of it, so much the better. Ask all the brothers and sisters who have experienced these vibrational processes, which have nevertheless been so useful to them. Look at the difficulty they may have in getting rid of them. Go to the essential which is there, and not even in an ascending crown, or a double torus of the heart, or the activation of I don't know what. Truth is personless, without you, and without a light body. The body of light has only been a bridge between the ephemeral and the eternal, that's all. The self has never been an end, that's why I intervened loudly in 2012, so that you are not locked into vibrational processes, with new projections, in a new world, a new earth, a new dimension. And now 10 years later, all this spiritual, energetic, vibratory, luminous, supramental jumble obscures you, weighs you down, it no longer even makes you rise in vibration, it screens the real. Silence. Sister. I know I don't express myself well. Bidi. We can't hear well, come closer. Sister. Yes, I'm coming. Laugh. Sister. I know Bidi, I don't express myself very clearly, but concerning the. Eliza begins to translate, and therefore interrupts the flow of words. Sister. Sorry. Regarding the song of the soul, I'm sorry to come back to the subject, but when we perceived it and we perceive it, well, I don't know if it's the song of the soul, in any case some might take it for tinnitus now, when it continues, it's normal. Is it normal that we always have this song of the soul? Bidi. There is neither normal nor abnormal. Whether it's there or is not there, you don't care. Sister. Ah well, I don't care, of course. No, but I don't care. But, for example, I was unwell at one point, but it took me, I heard it as if it were cicadas, it was really too strong. What? Is this normal? So I'm asking the question again because. Bidi. You're asking about something that happened. Sister. So I shouldn't hear that anymore then? No, it worries me, we talked about the Song of the Soul and it seems that it continues. Bidi. But whatever. Sister. Doesn't matter? Bidi. Absolutely nothing. Sister. Good, but thank you. I prefer to hear. Well, thank you very much. Bidi. They are funny your questions, it changes sleep, but it's very good. It is a great lesson. Laughs. A brother. But you said we could ask stupid questions. Bidi. That's exactly it, I agree, I even encouraged them, and I'm spoiled beyond measure. Silence. Eliza. So I'm going to ask a stupid question. Bidi. Ah. Laughs. Eliza. Everyone with their stories. You made reference to me that you had already talked about the dead before, it's true, I remember all that. Bidi. It's not me, it's OMA. Eliza. But he also said that we would all meet there, before the end of the show. Bidi. It was said that you will all experience the white paradise at the same time in the event, to find that each other is the dream of the other and one, and that there is no one, not to reunite and have a party. Eliza. I thought that was it. Bidi. Not at all, that's why I'm telling you it's not a party. Sister. Oh good. Eliza. It's a shame. Bidi. How about a galactic feast with all races, all dimensions, toasting? No, that's not it. It's the reabsorption of the dream of one and the dream of the other, and that someone you have lost, you will realize that he has always been there, in you. That's all. But don't go imagining a fireworks display with drinks and food flowing profusely. You see how you interpret what you hear according to the meaning that suits you. Omram never spoke of reunions other than merging into each other. Sister. Finally he also said that he would be present. Bidi. What would it be? Sister. That he would be present at this party. Bidi. But of course he will be present, but so will you, in each other. Sister. Yes. Bidi. But from the moment you are in each other, there is nothing to say, there is nothing to celebrate. Sister. Oh. Eliza. It's a shame, I signed up for the kitchen. Laughs. Discussion in the room. Eliza. Finally, there won't be a party. Brother. So we have to party first. Bidi. But every moment is a party, but no party can match the collective event, its beauty, the moment when collectively, of all dimensions and all universes, we will experience a great burst of cosmic laughter. None of this is real, you will experience it. You will see that you won't have anyone to find, even if everyone is there. When you have found yourselves through the collective event, well, you will see that there is no one, no more dead than alive, no link remains. If you still believe in finding yourself the mother of a child, or finding your husband, or your wife, or whoever, you are dreaming. Sister. Actually, it will be without a body. Bidi. In fact what? Sister. It will be without the body, without the body. It will be without the body. Without the physical body. Eliza. Without the physical body. Sister. This party. Finally this party. These reunions. Bidi. But of course. Sister. That's it. Bidi. Nobody will be disturbed by a body, whatever it is. Sister. That's great. Bidi. You will be in bare conscience. Eliza. So you don't even have to buy clothes for the party. Bidi. Not even. You will find that you are all that's created, all dreams, all the universe, all the multiverse, all life forms, without exception. You will not be able to make any memorial particularism. Because as soon as you have the impression of experiencing contact with a disembodied person, you will immediately realize that it is you, and immediately at the same time that there has never been anyone. You will only be able to laugh at yourself, even laugh at your roles, your functions, father, mother, child, lover, or whatever. You will actually experience that there has never been anyone, if not already today. It's not the song of the soul, it's my voice. Bidi addressing Eliza. Brother. I'm going to give a little testimony. Bidi. Come closer. Brother. Ah yes, sorry. Brother. For the past few months, last 2 to 3 months, I see that I am not this body at times. There it is, thanks. Bidi. It's very good, it's called the exit from the dream of individuality, the end of the illusion of believing you are this body, the end of the illusion of believing you are this mind or this consciousness, it's the same thing. You didn't translate. Laughs. Is there still time to break your ears? Eliza. It's 50-something. Bidi. One more then. Sister. Bidi, we love your interventions. Will we have the joy of seeing you again before the end of time? Bidi. Who knows? Nobody knows. We simply know, like you, that we are inside, up to the neck, down to the soul, up to the conscience. So. And the important thing, you have understood, is not the speeches. You have perfectly understood the difference between my first part and my second part. What is more pleasant, breaking your ears or silence? A sister. Both. Other sister. Breaking our ears. And another sister. And silence too. Eliza. For me, the first. Laughs. Bidi. They are two sides of the same coin. Silence. Bidi. I'm going to spare you the last moments and, as usual, I say goodbye to you, see you soon, or forever, we'll see. Brother. See you at the party. Bidi. Exactly, in the dissolution of the dream, in the total ecstasy of the real. Where there is no one to remember anything, there will be nothing left. The dream was born, the dream died at the same time. There is no time, there is no space, there is no one, there never was a universe, there is just what is, and all we will remember. So I tell you, see you soon, maybe. Channeling by Jean-Luc Ayoun in French. Translated through Google Translate from original text at https://apotheose.live